Aquatic macrophytes are plants that grow in or near water, including SAV. Other macrophytes can compete with SAV for light, nutrients, and space, and in some cases can be an indicator for poor water quality. Additional data on macrophytes in the Chesapeake Bay will help inform environmental research and management decisions. Besides SAV, Chesapeake Bay SAV watchers will monitor 3 kinds of macrophytes. These are Lingbia, macroalgae, and select emergent plants. To collect data on macrophytes, you will need a camera. The reference photos provided in the Methods Manual and Pocket Field Guide may also be useful. To monitor Lingbia, scan the surface of the water at the monitoring site. Lingbia is a cyanobacteria that grows in long, filamentous strands and sometimes forms mats of dense, floating material on the surface above the SAV. Lingbia is not technically a macrophyte, but is included here for convenience. Use the 4-point density scale on the datasheet to estimate the density of Lingbia coverage, and record this number on the datasheet. To monitor emergent plants, you'll also scan the surface of the water. Water chestnut and lily pads have broad leaves that float on the surface of the water and block sunlight from the SAV growing below. Record the presence or absence of these 2 types of emergent plants by checking the appropriate box on the datasheet. Unlike Lingbia and emergent macrophytes, macroalgae grows underwater, so you monitor it much like you monitor SAV. Use the density scale to estimate the density of macroalgae coverage and use the macroalgae key on the datasheet to note the type of macroalgae present. If you observe Lingbia, macroalgae, or emergent plants during monitoring, take a picture of the specimen and note an image description on the datasheet. Make sure to include the written site ID and image description in the photo.